Well, JB, the club's kicked off its membership. It's a pretty important year for the club.
Yeah, it is, and it's kicked off really well. As I understand it, the hits on the website and certainly the calls to the club are at a record high, which is great because I think everyone knows this is a club heading in the right direction. The on-field side of things is going really well. I wasn't in Utah, but all the reports back were that was an enormous success. Ninth for the last 2 years, but really starting to head in the right direction. So the whole of the AFL knows that the North Melbourne Footy Club on field is really starting to make the right moves, and thankfully our people do too, because we need everyone to become a member. We need everyone to help us out with the debt. I know we're going to talk about that in a minute, but I just did the President's Cup where the galleries were like 10 deep. And the amount of times from over the fence people are giving it the, Jimmy, make sure the Kangas are all right, and I used to always turn around to them and say, no worries, mate, just become a member, tip in a little bit for the debt and we'll be good, and often they'd go, oh, I'm already a member, So I think the awareness of the fact that all our people have got to join up as a member of the club and make that sort of commitment is starting to kick in.
What about the reception that you've had toward the actual the campaign with the word spirit?
Well, yeah, because that's what this club's about. The spirit on field has been there, since the club began. The word shin boner comes from the spirit that the great players showed when they used to work in the abattoir and walk across here to train, and then through the 70s and the 90s, and it's a word that's synonymous with what we do on field. So I think it resonates with North Melbourne people. Hopefully it resonates with them strongly enough that they'll make the commitment to become a member if they're not already.
And just, you touched on it before, debt reduction. The club's about to launch the debt reduction next month.
Yep.
That's also vital for the club.
Yeah, we had a soft opening to that, if you like, because we had to get the information out to the Truroos. And the response from that's been great. In fact, again, just people coming up to me, the amount of people who have said, we want to help, but surely we can do more than give you $25. And I said, well, you will be able to. We'll be launching it in about a month, as you say. And I think there's some really exciting things attached to, eradicating this debt, because off-field, if we're going to really go where we need to go, we can't have $5 million debt hanging over the club's head. It's been there for too long. If you look in the AFL, family, if you like, Melbourne have done an unbelievable job of eradicating debt. So Richmond are on the way, and the Western Bulldogs. So all the clubs are realising that you just can't carry that amount of debt. It's not healthy for the bottom line and the balance sheet of your club. So the response has been really good, but we just need people to keep doing it. The one thing I will say, and this probably needs to be explained to people, North Melbourne people, is it's not compulsory. You don't have to do it. It's only $25 at the moment. If you want to opt out, you can. If you're wondering how you opt out, you just need to ring the club. So we haven't got a gun to anyone's head. It's something that we're just asking your help with, and the response has been great.
Also, from a board point of view, you've put in place some strategies there to help with the debt reduction. Julie Laycock's come on with a very strong marketing background. That's an area she could probably help in as well.
Yeah, well, it's firstly long overdue for us to have a female director. We've been looking for a long time, and we're one of the last AFL clubs to bring a lady on board. And we have Julie now, who's absolutely sensational. She is the head of marketing at 7-Eleven, one of the most progressive companies in Australia, in the world for that matter, but certainly in Australia. Used to work with companies like Red Bull. So this is a person who has got exactly the skill set we need. We've got lots of the other skill sets covered on our board, but if we're going to grow, if we're going to become the business we want to be, we've got to get that marketing, corporate, operations side of our business right. And we're going to be making appointments in that area with the equalisation through the AFL. So we need the right people on board to make the right decisions to get that side of our business right, because if we don't get that right, we're not going to grow. And as I always say, if we don't grow, we're not going to be successful. So it took us a while. We had to sort of wrestle with Julie a bit, because she obviously, like a lot of people, are wondering what a board position at a footy club's about. But we are so grateful that she's come on board, because as I say, she has got exactly the skill set we need.
Off the back of the announcement of debt reduction, the Utah trip came into question a little bit. Some people were critical about the club being in Utah and spending the money in Utah. What was your response to that?
Well, it's 100% independently funded, and it's the only way it could be, because we had Brad and Donald come to the board 2 years ago when they wanted to do Utah for the first time, and we just said to them, look, we can't and we won't fund a camp of that type when we have these other challenges that we've got to meet. and debt being the main one. So we said, if you can go away and get it independently funded, absolutely fine, but we as a footy club can't fund it, and as I say, we won't fund it. To their absolute credit, they went away, the players pay for half of it, and then independent individuals who are unbelievably generous to the club help with the rest. And for the last 2 years, they've been able to go away and have an unbelievable experience that we know is going to stand them in great stead on the field. But the people that do criticise that do it because they're not aware of the fact that that camp is fully independently funded. So from a footy club point of view, we're comfortable with that because, as I say, we can't and won't spend that amount of money on something when we've got these other challenges.
So hopefully it's a good springboard into 2012, and already we've got a pretty good draw in place.
Well, yeah, I mean, internally we're enormously comfortable with where our footy department sits, and you know what I get to do with my job is run into a lot of people from other clubs' footy departments, you know, assistant coaches, full-time coaches, recruiting staff, list managers, all these sort of people I run into regularly. And the amount of time they come up to me and go, mate, do not worry for 1 second about where you boys are at. You're perfectly placed. You know, your young blokes coming together beautifully. You've got a really good cluster of young midfielders who are going to get better and better and better. So the whole league knows where we're at. We know where we're at. But really, it's now time for us to start delivering on field. We have got a good draw, which is great. But, you know, for Brad and Donald, they know that 2012 is a really important year.
So are there expectations from yourself and the board as far as a finish?
No, I never do that because so much in footy's out of your control. So, you know, you would never say you need to finish here. But what we need to do is see continued improvement. You know, we just know that by the time Jack Zeeble, Ryan Bastanak, Sam Wright, Ben Cunnington, you know, Sean Atley, Kieran Harper, all these boys, by the time Todd Goldstein, they play, you know, 50, 100, 150 games, you know, they are going to be ready to roll. And, you know, they'll all play them together. But you can't, patience is something none of us have in footy. You can't fast track a guy to his 75th game. You know, it takes time. But when they get there, it is going to be fantastic because there's going to be about 10 or 12 of them, all with great talent, who are going to get there almost at the same time. So, you know, we know that's coming. We just need to continue to see them getting better and better. And, you know, I think Brad's of the same mindset.
One final one, Family Day will be here at Aegis Park in December. You'll obviously be encouraging everyone to get out here and see the boys.
Oh, absolutely. And it's great to be able to have it here. I mean, we used to have it, you know, all over the place. But we can't, you know, get away from the fact that this is our spiritual home, and now we can bring everyone to Aegis Park and the famous Arden Street, meet the players, have a great day, hopefully join up as a member. I'm actually going to be down in Tassie on that day because obviously we've got 2 games down there next year, so I've got to go down and meet the people at Bell Reeve and also the people from the board of the Spirit of Tasmania who have made that whole thing possible, and make sure that that's as seamless as it can be. So I won't be here myself, not that that matters, because Family Day is not about the chairman, it's about the team and the coaches, and it is a wonderful day. So all my kids will be here, and I encourage everyone to bring their kids along and have a great day. And as I say, it's also a great time to join up as a member.
Thanks for your time, JB.
Beauty, mate. It's an exciting time at North Melbourne, and you know we can't wait. One of those ones where we can't wait for 2012 to start.